Hey everyone, Adam from the Dust here. Today's lesson, topic, mantra is going to be don't cockblock your mind from making sweet, sweet love to life. Now, before any epic love making, what is the number one rule that's usually beaten into your mind, right? Protection first, friends. Okay, in my last video, I talked about going out to nature, using nature as a teacher, as a inner reflection of who we truly are on the inside. And after you went out and been with nature, you've seen the beautiful, the ugly, the light, the dark, the violence, the beautiful. It all creates a harmony, right? So now that you've seen it out in action, now it's time to be like, well, how can I have that, right? Well, it's really a connection of the conscious mind, what we consciously put out for the world to see, and combining it with our subconscious. Now, we've all had trauma in our life, no matter how little, big, some things have affected you, right? And more than likely, if you're like me, we tend to push away those traumatic things, right? We create this protective barrier. It's almost like the fight or flight mode, right? Our subconscious, well, really, our conscious mind, we consciously flight, right? We eat that. We don't want to feel that pain, right? We sweep it under the rug, forget about it, right? Move on, let's live, let's go after life. Well, hate to tell you, but the subconscious mind is like an elephant, right? It never forgets. So, while you consciously flee it, your subconscious mind's like, hey, what's up, man? Like, we still remember, and we're constantly fighting it, right? And when I'm talking about shadow working, this is really getting to the recesses of our subconscious and facing it head on so we can consciously connect with our subconscious, right? In order to do any type of manifestations, changes in our life, magic, whatever you want to call it. It is literally being in between the pillars and combining your conscious and your subconscious. So more than likely, for me especially, we haven't really said hello to our true subconscious, right? We need to really face our traumas. And I would say start being more mindful of your thoughts throughout the day. And more than likely, you'll see a reoccurring theme of thoughts that popping into your head that will trail back to one root of an emotion that is strongly felt by you, that is used as a protective barrier like a porcupine, right, to keep you from re-feeling this trauma. Like for me, and more than likely, it's usually the complete opposite of how you view yourself, honestly. Like for me, because like I said, duality, on one end of the spectrum, you're sure to find it's going to be tethered to the complete opposite. I'll use me for an example. Like me, growing up, I always thought I was this laid back, charismatic, happy, easygoing guy, right? Fun to be around. Well, comes to see, I had a lot of anger inside of me. And when I first started doing this journey, I was like, angry? I'm not angry, you know? Hell no, I'm a good person. And the more that I really meditated on it and really started thinking about my thoughts and just kind of flagging them and keeping little bookmarks on them, I was like, wow, I am pretty angry. It's mostly just throw away everything that you ever thought of, you know, and just kind of looking at things in a new eye. And a big one of mine was jealousy as well, which also stems from anger. So, just for an example, because I know I work very well visually, I'll use this as an example. So, I'm going to write down a shadow trait of mine, which would be jealous, right? So, I went through some trauma, you know, as a kid. I'm not going to get into that. This isn't a Dr. Phil thing. Well, I crumpled that up, right? Didn't want to do with it. But energy cannot be created nor destroyed, right? Instead, it literally forms this little ball, you know, that's vibrating of energy. And it creates a blockage in the mind, the heart, and the throat. And whenever you have a blockage, just think of like like water, you know, pipe. The water, which I represent as emotion, it's gonna get stopped up, and one day it's gonna burst and it's gonna start leaking, and you're gonna start seeing that little shadow self of you spurting out of those little sprockets, right? But the beautiful thing of being in this realm and being a human is the duality. We have the power of both. So, it takes a little time and a little digging, but once you get it out, and you start, you know, actually facing it head on, it might be a little bit of a doozy when you finally look at it, right? You're like, ooh, alright, this is what I'm working with, right? But with a little bit of reprogramming, you can change this. Because, like I said, energy cannot be created nor destroyed, right? You can use that energy that you were putting forth. Like for me with this jealousy, I was putting way too much energy, right? And it was just draining me. Well, you can alchemize, which alchemy is literally transmuting any matter into something else. And most of y'all have probably heard of, you know, chemical alchemy, you know, turning, like, you know, Rumpelstiltskin, turning straw into gold or whatnot. Well, it was said for a reason and symbolism, because you can do that with your feelings and your emotions. For a little bit of time, you can change it into something that can benefit you and for the rest of all around you. See, so now we have zealous. And it took me a while, but I turned that energy of being jealous, you know, like all these people had all these things, and I, you know, it wasn't fair, you know. But I started to realize, instead of sitting there and whining and being in such a state of lack, in order to change my mind into abundance, I needed to choose to put that energy, what I was putting into that jealousy, and turning it into zealous, right? And zealous, actually, I'll look it up, so I'm not just speaking from an Adam definition, right? So let's see what zealous actually means, shall we? Well, having or showing zeal. So, I guess we should just look up zeal then, right? So let's look at zeal definition. great energy or enthusiasm in pursuit of a cause or an objective. So the cause or the objective, the thing that I was envying in others, I'm using it as enthusiasm to pursue that same thing, but my way, right? So I guess what I first did was, when I'm trying to reach my shadow self, I write down a list without even thinking, just automatically writing down the list of all the great traits that I love about myself, right? Whether it be like I'm happy, I'm funny, I'm, I reach my goals. When I think of something, I do it, or just whatever. Just pick all these different attributes that you like about yourself. Guarantee you, write a line and then write the complete opposite of what that great trait is, and really meditate on it. Okay? I mean, like, really meditate on it and be true and honest with yourself. And if any little gut instinct of you says, wait, maybe I am, and just choose one of them. For me, with the jealousy, at first I was like, one of my great traits was like, oh yeah, I love me, I make my own path, right? And I was doing the complete opposite, and like jealousy. And throughout my days, I would flag thoughts. I was like, oh, that was a little jealous thought, no matter how tiny it may be, because a lot of tiny things can form one big thing, a blockage. And I really would say accepting and rejecting thoughts. You need to start, people say, I need to start working on my jealousy. No. Like I said, energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but it can be alchemized. It can be changed. So, I always say, no, don't work on your jealousy. Work with it. And once I start accepting a thought, or if I say, no, I reject that thought, you are literally letting your subconscious know, hey, I know you exist, but I'm in control, and I'm consciously going to start filtering what I send your way, subconscious. And so, yeah, start filtering things that if you want to start changing your mindset towards something. Social media. Duh, you can start filtering that. The people that you hang around with, the environment that you're in. A great book that I'm reading, actually. I'll put it at the end of the video. It's called Biology of Belief. Forget the author name as of right now. But he actually says, as a true microcellular biologist, whenever they're looking at a cell, a single cell, and they notice that it has an ailment, the first thing the scientist does, they don't look at the cell itself to see what's wrong with it. The first thing they do is they look at the environment of the cell. So that is what you have the power of, guys. Changing your environment to change inwardly. So try doing that, accepting, rejecting thoughts, and picking certain aspects of yourself. Like I said, the persona that we put on. Persona is Greek word for mask, right? The mask, the great traits that we just want to consciously put out to the world. Think of what the complete opposite is of that. Really meditate on it. Because I guarantee you, there's a little part of you that's hanging on to the other spectrum of that feeling. And it is a very freeing process. It's a little tough, but it's very freeing. I hope this served you well. Blessed be. Have a great week, guys.